You know, if we were good people, I think we would have offered the option to perhaps make this into a best of 3.
But apparently we're not.
No, we're not. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Game number 1 in a best of 5 finals for this week's Corsair Cup. Awesome games like what you just saw, plus everything we're going to be having going forward, of course, made possible thanks to Corsair. So make sure to check out their stuff down below and give them a look-see. Highly recommend, personally, the Corsair Void headsets, the wireless versions, but of course, look for whatever floats your boat, guys. In the bottom right side of Ruins of Endion, we've got the red Protoss. It's going to be none other than Neeb.
The bottom left is the blue Terran. He is uThermal. Whew. Of course, he is the European that has been waiting for an hour into the late night. So he might throw out a couple of cheeses if he really decides to. But unfortunately, there's not that many you can throw at Protoss. Actually, there's not many that you can throw realistically at Zerg either. But point is, he might be a little tired. He might be the one to end it, try and end it a little bit sooner. Neeb, he might be tired of playing an hour-long game, but it's only like 5, 6 p.m. where he is, so not quite the same. Actually, that might even out. I don't know. What would be worse, waiting and it being late, or actually playing the hour-long game?
I think waiting. It's kind of like us with downtime, right? Like, the doing nothing aspect is far worse than actually the long, drawn-out, hour-long game aspect. Like, I would rather spend an hour and a half in a game than an hour and a half waiting doing nothing.
Yeah, I think in general people will agree with that. For me, just thinking about like my health though, like my actual like body.
I've wasted 3 years of my life through time just sitting down and casting these long games.
Besides that, I mean, I'm actually thinking like an hour-long game, my wrist would probably really start to hurt. I have wrist problems, but I think anyone, their back would start to get kind of like, oh, I'm gonna stretch, but I also have to pay attention to this game.
By the way, quick shout-outs to those watching that made clips during that last series. I love Twitch clips. It's like my favorite new thing, the highlights that you can make. And I saw a lot of people tweeting them at us, a lot of people posted them in chat. If you ever make your own Twitch clips, guys, tweet them. We love them. We fucking love seeing those highlights. And the fact that it goes through Twitch actually helps us rather than hurts us, whereas other sites can take away. So really, truly, 2 thumbs up to everyone who's figuring this out. And I just love how easy it is. You just press that one button down here, wherever the movie clapper thing is, and it's so good. Anyways, uThermal and Neeb are, in my opinion, some of the better players of their race when it comes to the foreigners. I think uThermal does hit brick walls a lot harder than Neeb does, but we'll see how he handles this, because his home field advantage. Admittedly, Neeb has said many times he doesn't feel issues playing on Europe and will oftentimes play on Europe for his opponents. And not because he's a kind, generous soul. I think he just really wants to test his mettle when they're in the best case scenario and not get like cheap wins through lag.
Cheap wins, yeah.
At least that's how I like to. That's how I like to think Neeb is. Just like this crazy honorable warrior.
Yeah. Whenever I actually played on Europe or Korea, I had good connection to both of them. So I just was kind of lucky, I suppose. So maybe it's the same thing with Neeb.
I'm on the West Coast, and sometimes I have problems connecting to the West Coast, so I got nothing.
Maybe Canada. Canada.
I hate my internet. I hate my internet so bad, guys. Someone green card marry me so I can go to the States, please.
Just go to Toronto.
Toronto wasn't a lot better, to be honest. Like, it was alright.
Well, I mean, the place that we got wasn't tons better, but I know they have better options. Well.
Alright, well, bets are open and probably closing soon. We'll see who ends up being the crowd favorite going into this. I think after watching a game like that, if Neeb didn't win your heart, I don't know who will. But I've got some faith in uThermal. Now, the opening here is pretty standard and nothing too impractical. I mean, the Widowmine drops aren't going to really get much done. He'll actually not kill that first one. Almost gets a hit, unfortunately, despite the awkward cleanup. Still doesn't take any damage.
Yep. Very nicely done by Neeb. You know, wants the medevac, but ain't gonna get it, and that's nice for uThermal. It's not very committal. If you lose the Widowmines, oh well. It's not a one-base build. We do have uThermal adding very quickly those 4 barracks to up his production, not going for a 3rd CC too quickly at all. A Raven coming out as well, something we've been seeing every now and then with a couple of different Terrans. Just a cool little addition instead of going immediately for the medevacs. Point defense drone, so you can medevac into a doom drop, is a cool idea. Point defense drone in engagement can be very helpful. And auto turret harassment can be very effective.
So I'm just going to go through Twitter while this game opens up. I love this. People are just saying, like, as a brand new player, this is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in any game. So that's almost something I'm a little bit sad about. Where because the game became a lot faster paced and all-ins for all races became a little more viable, we don't get a lot of these really late games. So that was honestly a bit of a rare treat that we just got now, and it was really cool to watch. As unfair as it may have been at a certain point, it was still really fun to watch games like that.
Ooh.
I know too, like even just going off our viewership, it spiked up to almost like 4.5K at the peak, I think. Came back down, settled around 3K as we get here to the finals. Like,
that's what happened with the Swarmhost games, so makes sense.
Yeah, no, everyone would be like bitching and whining, and like even I didn't want to cast them, but I'd sit there and be like, as the broadcaster, I'm like, yes, rubbing my hands together with the invisible soap, like the viewers are just trickling in. Yes, like Swarmhost and Locust.
Yeah. I guess it's a nicer thing, though, that instead of everyone coming in because their friend said, oh, it's a really dumb Swarmhost game, you gotta see this, and I was saying, oh, it's a really sick Ultralist game, you gotta see this.
Yeah, I would love if we got to this point where we got to see this more consistently. But $5 donation coming from David_K. Uh-oh. This is okay, Zerg. Listen, the way you're supposed to break this is you know Parasite a pro, but make your own Tempest. Good game, well played. You know what? He brings up a point. Snoot never did try. Never did try.
Never tried to get any investors at all.
And you'd have to,
impressive.
Go for upgrades on top of those Tempests. Just sounds so easy. Yeah. I don't know why he didn't think of it. Gosh, you guys should be the pro players.
Seriously. I would go more in depth to what maybe could have gone better, but we do have that Doom Drop I was talking about that can be aided with the point defense drones or auto turrets.
The point defense drone is going to eat up the front on overcharges, allowing them to fully unload, and that's one of the key elements for this. He'll be able to take out those pylons pretty damn quick. Point defense drone's about out of energy, though. Auto turret going to come down next, but this army out of Neeb might still be big enough to take it on. It's questionable, though, because it's mostly stalkers. The couple of immortals get focused down, but this army from uThermal is going to have to back away.
I was gonna say the entire army.
Look at that trade.
There.
Dead even. 1800, 1800.
The entire army was there, which I think is not the situation for a lot of other games. If only half the army is there, if the army trickles in one at a time through SimCity, uThermal probably wins. But luckily, Neeb was there in time and didn't have like that filter go through. So very nicely held.
Normally, by the way, for context, guys, when we come to bets here in the finals, it's usually like maybe 10K at most. There's 31,000 on Neeb, 25,000 on uThermal.
That makes sense.
I mean, that ratio I agree with. That's exactly how it would feel like the score would go to, like 3-2, etc. But this is really high stakes. A lot of people in chat betting.
They want those partoofs. They're eager to bet after an hour of not betting.
We haven't been allowed to do giveaways on Twitch for such a long time through old methods. We gotta find a way to like let people cash in on those partoofs.
Yeah, once someone reported us.
You can have a Skype date with Zombie Grub for the highest bidder.
Nope. Oh, I don't know if I wonder. Target on the Liberators or target on a Medevac?
It's a tough choice, but unfortunately the Medevacs do fully unload, and that's gonna be the consequence of this drop. Pylons taken out really quick. It's kind of crazy looking just how much Terran bio is required to take out 2 pylons, but while this goes on, uThermal was really hoping to double prong the attack, comes in from the north side, finds rocks waiting for him, and that's part of why he stuttered just now with those medevacs on the retreat.
Yeah. And that cost him one of his medevacs, a little disappointing there. Blink forward, maybe not the best, as that rest of the army was there too. Sentries are being focused very down.
1-1 for Neeb,
this actually might be enough.
Yeah, those upgrades are looking fantastic, and that Guardian Shield helped negate a lot of damage. I do believe Neeb should be able to crush the rest of what's left. Not that many stalkers, though, funny enough, so these Liberators might get more damage. No, they get picked off too quick.
That
GG.
Was off of 2 bases for uThermal, so it makes sense. Wow, great hold then for Neeb. Like, that was a lot to take on.
So here's the thing, right? Like, that first... We're going to skip ads. We'll go to the game number 2 ASAP because I want to talk about this. Like, that first drop was the sickest drop that uThermal could come up with, right? Like, that's a lot of damage. Doom drops out, protected by point defense drones. And I kind of want to laugh a little bit, like, haha, 2 pylons shut that down. But it wasn't. It was the whole army that did shut that down. But I guarantee you, we watch most other you take other good Protoss, Mana, Hearthstone, Wellmu, like other good Protoss players, I think die to that drop. I really do. Like, Neeb was really on top of that.
Definitely agree. uThermal's still thinking on his map. Literally says,
I was wondering if Neeb would feel a little more frazzled, you know, coming into this because of that last game, but clearly not feeling too Shabby. There we go. Why can't... Oh, my brain's dead after that game, too.
It might be the swap of matchups. I think that would actually be... If I went from a really long, tough game and a matchup I wasn't 100% confident in to the finals being a matchup I was 100% confident in, and I just 4-0'd whatever, then I actually would feel like completely different, I think. I can't think right now.
All right, let me try to... Yeah, my brain's pretty much fried after that last game. Cool. Blue Post saying that the Cyclone fix is supposed to come in soon, which will be nice.
Cool.
And I guess there's a patch that's coming out tomorrow that adds some emotes to the game.
Oh,
It's going to replace the heart one. There's a rainbow one. Scared, sleepy, thinking, kissy face. Oh, I'm going to be using the kissy face one all the time.
Cool.
And a nerdy one. Yeah, the new map for the co-op mission's really excited for the Vermilion problem. That's really cool too, because that's not like a mutation. That's like a new map. I thought that was just a mutation. I didn't realize that was like a new map type. That's really cool.
Wait, where do you see the smiley? The emotes?
It's just at the top of the post. Anyways, King Sejong Station. I should have grabbed the intro. I kept forgetting to do this all day. All right, let's just hop into the load screen. Pretend like nothing happened.
I want to let you know. Man, I'm still looking for it.
No, I'll get you a link after. I just closed it. It's on Reddit. But game number 2 here in the finals. It is, of course, down 1 for this guy. In the bottom right, the blue Terran player, uThermal.
In the top left, as the red Protoss, he is Neeb.
So some interesting questions being brought up in chat, like talking about uThermal's chances in this, and Neeb having recently beat Beyond. It's funny to me because I can with no evidence prove to you that I think uThermal is as good as Beyond, because he's not across the board. But there are some aspects where I really do think, like down to control, not tunnel visioning. Like uThermal could definitely be highly ranked up there. But yeah, Beyond is probably one of the best Terran players we've seen in a long time, and Neeb 4-0ing him in the Gauntlet was pretty astonishing.
Yeah, for sure. So that's why I think he's going in here feeling like maybe a 3-0.
By the way, I guess
game was pretty good.
I should ask after that long series, how's your mouth holding up? Since I know you mentioned it was sore earlier.
I thought about it, and actually I think the ibuprofen kicked in.
Nice.
So it's fine.
Well, game 2, of course, this is being a best of 5 means that this could go a while. It might be a 3-0. I do know that uThermal, he's not someone easily tilted, but when he does get tilted, we seem to see that influence pretty obviously. I hope that doesn't end up being the case. That first game really was a good play out of uThermal and a great defense out of Neeb. I just game 2 with King Sejong presenting a lot of really stupid games that we've seen. I'm just gonna say stupid very objectively. I think this might be a tilting point depending on how it goes. I do kind of want to see him abuse the rocks. I want to see tanks. I want to see drops. I want to see everything that I know uThermal's capable of, though. I want him to really just not hold back and unleash everything on Neeb.
Yeah. Thanks to Epi35 for the 15-month resub.
Whoop whoop.
And just really quickly while the game is still ramping up, someone mentions, like, I guess there's a pseudo-balance complaint that Neeb does nothing as Terran, swaps races, suddenly is a god.
That's not true at all.
So it's like a joke / maybe balance. I don't know what the guy's intention was. But what's funny is I guess there are a lot of new people that only know Neeb as a Protoss player, so don't even know that he was a Terran player to begin with. And second of all, they don't know that he was actually one of the up-and-coming Terran players in NA. Like, he was actually starting to make rounds in the team leagues by all killing good teams, like I think back in the day, like Fnatic or something like that, I can't remember. And whatnot. Oh, FXO, that's what I was thinking of, FXO. So he's actually been on the rise in a very steady pattern. Like, I'm sure people actually graphed his rise. It probably spikes at Legacy of the Void, but not even when he transfers to Protoss. Actually, like, it spikes at Legacy of the Void.
I'm going to give some better context to that, too. Because I didn't really know Neeb as Terran. And it was, early hots when I really got into casting and commentating. And I think I did cast Neeb like once or twice, but it was never anything spectacular. Nothing stood out, whether it was Protoss or Terran or otherwise. Like, Neeb really hit my radar, and he hit it hard with Legacy. Yeah. There's a couple people, like Semper was kind of hitting that same direction, like a nobody before, amazing in the beta. So It's not crazy that a lot of people might not know that it used to be Terran or not, but there's definitely no race swap LOL. This is something he's been working at for a while, and it wasn't just like, snap your fingers, I started winning.
He started
Oh, these
playing...
Hellions actually get to the main.
They're like one shot from death, though. If they get probes, oh my god.
He's already got a couple. I mean, 4's already cost effective, 5's better.
Good job.
Full scout.
My last note, like, he started playing when I was still playing somewhat seriously on my clan, so that's at least 4 years that he's been playing and suddenly like improving, and it really is a very steady graph of improvement. But anyway,
we don't have this happen normally in chat, but I love this is one of the few times I will endorse spam. Everyone just spamming either go Thermi or go Neeblet. It's unfortunate because our chat nowadays is a lot more calm and awesome, but more calm than it was when we first started casting. One of my favorite things we used to be able to do was get people to change their text colors to reflect the awesomeness of who they were rooting for. Actually, I remember that worked so well. Axeltos totally stole that for an MLG broadcast one time too.
I remember when we used to spam Ace Hoist.
Stop.
Hey, I was
Hammer
thinking. So depending on what you think the anniversary of BaseTradeTV is, one of them is coming up. And that's the anniversary of our Zotac monthly cast. The very first cast we ever did.
Really? I didn't actually know that.
I checked, and you sent me the email in the mid-June for
Oh, yeah.
the June finals.
Hey, I am a sweetheart. That's right. I made you. I fucking framed that shit and gave it to you.
Yeah, you did. So anyway, I was thinking if we should celebrate that, because I guess the other like anniversary, or what we want to call it, would be when I joined BaseTradeTV officially.
Well, I mean,
then third anniversary could be when, like Theodore and Olivia joined. But
the most accurate one would be when I made BaseTradeTV, but I don't actually know when that was.
Yeah, so you gotta just take one of these three.
I think a first time casting would make the most sense. It's when we really got to get it. Oh, hold that thought for now. He pulls the SCVs in a bit of an awkward manner. Loses about 5. Could have been worse. Scary to see, but also could have been better. Double drops in the main, though, and the thing about Disruptors is it doesn't leave you with a lot left at home, primarily relying on overcharges, and Neeb actually doesn't have vision of this. Oh, are you serious? Neither of those drops are in vision, so pylons are not here. Then War Prism picks this up, but he's actually going to have to use the Disruptor's home defensively. Picks up on the pylons because he doesn't want to have to deal with the overcharges. The nice thing about this is he can pick up in the medevac should the Disruptors be a little bit too close, a little bit too scary. Nice pick off on the Robo, picks up, backs away. Great shots here out of uThermals. Now Liberators come set up in the natural.
Well, this is some really good multi-pronged
Stalkers actually can't deal with this at all.
No, not with the double Liberators. They are actually covering it entirely. So
that is going to completely shut this down.
Yeah, that's very effective. If Blink was done, yeah, he could maybe blink into it, or blink away from it, but he will lose 3 stalkers, 4 stalkers.
Dropping and picking up, trying to bait out the Disruptor shots. There wasn't really anything on the ground up here infantry-wise from the gateway, but it looks like now they will be able to respond to it. Medevacs may just want to try and abandon ship. Nah. Back over here, looks like that finally did get cleaned up. I thought this Liberators were going to get a lot more damage done, but denying mining for like a good 40 seconds was not too bad either.
This is very good stuff from uThermal. Like, I mean, he almost got that snowball effect going again, you know, that almost happened last game as well. But Neeb kept calm. He did have to sacrifice a couple units when you don't really want to, but it was necessary, and he's going to try and return even more damage. These Disruptors do not get that good of hits at all, but they're available for further attacks.
And dating.
Are they?
These Disruptors are like us. You know, they're together all the time, but they're not actually dating each other. They're totally available for other people. I'm just, if there's any ladies in the audience today, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Okay.
Actually, that might not be true for me. Double Disruptors do get picked up, and that Widow Mine, it was supposed to do a lot more for defense. This gets picked off, not a big deal. What, you're... That was really uncalled for.
You hurt my feelings.
Maybe you did. Maybe this is just like the one thing. Disruptors, though, I like this. Continue to harass with them, whether it's picking up 1 or 2 units from the side, just trying to buy a little bit more time and damage. Unfortunately, it doesn't really stall out uThermal, who is going for this really big push. And this is, make no mistakes, again, 2 bases, really dedicated. He wants to get a kill here.
Well, Neeb hasn't been too greedy. He is trying to get a third base now. It wasn't like he overstepped during all that harassment and took tons and tons of damage. He does have a decent fight, but I don't know about this. He just blinked in right there.
He was contemplating stimming in to completely focus fire the Disruptor. Something totally an option with some of them being so low, but dancing around, this gets a little bit awkward. Supply still holding strong for uThermal. Tank's not brought up on the front line. There was a bit of a mistake. He's going to fall back to this tank line, get that extra firepower going.
I was actually unsure. Oh, my Disruptor. Yeah, I was unsure about Neeb's blink in. He blinks in once again, though, and gets one tank, almost gets a second one.
Look at uThermal's APM, by the way. That's not from spamming production. He's trying to dance around these Disruptors like crazy, dodging those shots. Backs away. Still on 2 bases. That third base not really set up for Neeb just yet. uThermal's still got time to make this push work, but he's really running out of juice.
He is, and Neeb's third is now saturated with probes, so it looks like he is just barely held once again.
GG. GG. Neeb takes a 2-0 lead here in the finals. But again, best of 5, not a best of 3, so it's not over yet. We got at least one more game coming at you. A small break until then, and we'll see you guys soon. All right, welcome back to what is possibly the last cast today. I hope it's not, though. I want to see him bring it back. He's down 2 points and on his last life. Here for the Corsair Cup Grand Finals, it's the Blue Terran, Neeb. Or sorry, uThermal. Damn it!
He's on the screen. In the top right, as the red Protoss, he's Neeb.
Brain scrambled, I'm hungry, what can I say? I'm looking forward to hitting up Subway after this. That's all I know.
Yeah. I went to my parents, you know, after the long game, and I was like, you guys want to order Chinese? But my dad had already eaten. For whatever reason, they had my dad on, like, shift schedule again. So he had to go into work at 2 a.m. this morning and came back at 3. Yeah, that's rough. But I will be doing something similar next week for the Alima League.
Wait, what?
Next week is when we move the Alima League to midnight for me.
Oh, right, yeah. Real quick, big shout-outs. First, I love this Blanc at uThermal, but it's got to make sure it doesn't die. There you go. It puts a little bit of juice into it. Cassiana, long-time hanger-outer on the channel. Big love. Says $5. With $5 says, can we get Ace Hoy back if we're doing birthday things? Needs more ZGB Hoy and Ace Hoy spam. No. And I don't actually say this. I don't say this out of malice. I actually loved, as dumb as Catalina was, and I hated the reasoning for it being what it was really hype and a lot of fun. But it's out of the map pool, and really there's just no place for it anymore, which kind of sucks.
Basically, if we ever mention Catalina or K-pop, or, you know, Catalina, then it'd be spammed. Which we mentioned like maybe once every 2 dozen casts.
I mean, the nice thing is being, like, the fact that we organize a lot of our stuff, like this, for example, the Corsair Cup, we have full, complete control over. Like, we could bring Catalina back in the map pool. There'd be no reason for it and no just way to say this is a good idea, but, like, we could, but...
We'd be like Kespa, bringing back the old maps. Start a trend. Whatever.
By the way, Screwin' in chat says, Rivka, no girls in the audience. You guys would be surprised. I'm always astonished by this. We have a surprising amount of female fans. And it always blows me away when I get contacted on Twitter or events. And not because, like, oh, girls aren't on the internet. I just always expect there to be such a large guy-to-girl ratio. And there, in fairness, there is. But it still blows me away because I always think, like, oh, we got, like, both of our girl fans tuning in, right? Like, no, it's actually quite a few.
I know what you mean. But yeah, it is. It's surprising and really cool. But I was going to say, Avex tried his best to give us another K-pop map for another K-pop intro.
Oh, I never ended up seeing the final version of that. It was like Petals or something, or...
Oh, that was, yeah, I forget what it was called. Didn't he turn that in Namaste, though? That's what I thought. Maybe I'm confused.
I don't know, because I never saw it. That's why I said I don't know.
I may be confused. Anyways, but yeah, he tried, but it just, there wasn't... Even if you named the map after a K-pop song, there wasn't anything that fit so well. Like, Catalina had squid, so it was kind of like an island map. It had the squid in the middle, made a lot of sense, or an octopus, sorry, not a squid. And, like, Catalina is just such a weird fucking song. Like,
well, I think the hype for it really, it wasn't even the song that did it. Like, that was cool and whatever, and it's a good song. But so much of that really was this perfect combination of you loved it, and I had made the map as a joke, and the irony ended up becoming real.
There's nothing ever gonna like line up like that, you know? Like the map maker alluded to a K-pop song that I knew that was really stupid and funny.
I will say the pinnacle for me was when we were at some event and the crowd started chanting it. I think it was IEM Toronto actually. We started chanting "Hoi Hoi Hoi" during the intro because of course they don't play Catalina or the intro, right? And I can't remember who it was. It was like Apollo or maybe Todd or somebody said like, "Oh, is this some weird Canadian cheering going on or something?" Like, no, man, it's not.
Hey. Yeah, that was fun. I appreciated doing it at Hell's Boat Time, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was actually a lot of fun. Man, Hell's Boat Time was still the greatest time of my life.
So, Command Center on, actually scouted, that is, I want to say. Neeb scouts the third Command Center, which is very important, because that was a very greedy third Command Center. There's not much to be done about it now, and he had his own, you know, well-timed third base, but it is something that you have to worry about another 2-base all-in, because that's what uThermal's been doing the last 2 games, so it's important to know that's different.
It's not just that you read this as different, but I think uThermal more importantly is recognized like it's Dust Towers. Like why not take a third, go for the macro game a little bit more, but also they're not working. 2 different versions of very deadly all-ins that again, and I stress, probably work against most other Protoss players. Don't even scratch Neeb. That's insane. Like he lost his Robo and still won that game.
Yeah. Oh, people are bringing up the Cactar emote too.
Cactus Valley was another silly one that worked out well. Tried to remake it with Korean Terrace, it didn't hit the same chords, and that's the problem. Like if you try too hard to make something, it almost never works. It just has to be that perfect storm of accident.
It does.
By the way, plenty of Phoenix just kind of bulking up to the side, chilling. One of the things about the Oracle was getting to see what was going on, but also these Phoenixes not being revealed too early. Maybe Medevac's flying into them. I would hate to see uThermal lose like that, but he doesn't know they're in play.
I don't think it'll happen, but the medevac lifts up something, so I was gonna say it is gonna be entirely harassment based, so it's not like these Phoenixes are gonna catch like 5 Doom drop and just crush uThermal, but they will catch this double drop that has Stim and combat shields, and hopefully uThermal just, you know, boosts away and saves the Marines. I don't think a medevac, if he's watching it, should die.
Well, luckily he's not going to completely drop. He's just going to walk in his way up. But with the depths out and the map patrolling and looking, should get discovered pretty quickly. Oh, I'm actually not sure if they saw the tail end of that or not.
Difficult to tell. We got a lot of gateways coming down as Neeb saturates his base. He does like his blink, so that's on the way first. And another quick robotics bay for not as quick of disruptors, but still fairly quick. The Liberator is now on the way for uThermal. I guess he's really changing up his style. So it's not just not a 2-base all-in. It's also maybe like a Turtle Terran type. Like, obviously he's not like building missile turrets and bunkers everywhere, but he is going faster to Liberators. This might just be for the same harassment we did last game too, though.
So this is like the second time I've entered Twitch chat today while we're casting, and I only just realized all the Horde and Alliance badges are gone.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Sad face. Alright, Stimmy in. He's not going to go for the pylons. He's going to accept that there's things to defend. But, oh, those Phoenix finally catch him by surprise, but not by enough. It's the Stalkers of the main army that's going to catch this drop. uThermal going to lose both for virtually nothing, and that's a really hard loss to take.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't too good. As I said, it wasn't an all-in situation. It wasn't 5 medevacs, but, you know, it's still... That was a pretty instant drop in uThermal supply. Still better than Neeb's as he pushes forward here with those Liberators. And it's still not quite... I'm still not quite sure if they're going to go for harassment. Oh, no, they're going to go for the main push. They could go to the main and try and distract, but they're going to try and help out here.
Just noting frames are dropping. And, again, I'm going to go ahead and blame Twitch and E3 on this one because everything looks steady on my end. But, the Colossus are certainly going to be an interesting shake-up. The Liberators can still perform a decent role, but there's not many Marauders. There are more coming, but dealing with these Colossus, I mean, they can take hits from Liberators. That's what makes that much of anything. They do trigger the barrier on the Immortal. That goes down pretty quick. Gonna focus by the Colossus, maybe? No, backs away instead.
I kind of forgot about the Colossus option, to be honest, entirely. But Dusk Towers, Liberators out, Colossus actually are coming back.
Phoenix Colossus, I guess, makes sense.
Ways. Yeah. uThermal is using those Liberators in the front line and is also going for faster second starport, you know, actually going for more than just 2 or 4 Liberators to poke and prod with. So Neeb has to take that into account, and that is somewhat what he's doing with those Colossus. But a little bit of a siege up here, a little bit of a contain. Neeb wanted that fourth, obviously, and just had to cancel it. Was he gonna try and poke a Marauder, or that would have mine? Stalker is so bold.
As more time goes on, more Colossus is going to get made. Obviously, and that Bio Army is going to get better and better, or worse and worse. Excuse me. But if they can get on top of the Colossus early, it's still good enough. I think that's what he's thinking as well. He starts leapfrogging forward here slowly. What of mine's, of course, going to be a little bit slower to drag forward. But this is some pretty serious timing. On the other side of the map, a lot of Adepts got warped in. Surprise, surprise. Now uThermal's got to go with everything. SCV's just getting pulled into it. He's going to go for it. Tries to get on top of the Colossus. Overcharges get popped. That's a lot of damage coming in, but that's a lot of Marauders on top of this as well. Army supply not holding so great for uThermal. Widowmine's looking to pop off on top of the Phoenix, splashing his bio. Unfortunately, that's a little too much, and I think Neeb, with this defense, has won this game.
God, Neeb is so good at defending.
I can't even believe he found the money, the time, or the ability to squeeze that warp prism out to the side and warp in like 10 Adepts like that, too.
You know what was really cool, and I don't know if this was intentional, it probably just worked out that way. I thought that with the warp prism harassment, he wouldn't have the Adept warp-ins used on the front line. But I think he waited like a couple seconds to send those Adepts in.
I would not doubt it. Neeb is actually good enough to do something like that. Yeah. But, folks, that is going to wrap up this week's Corsair Cup. I would like to thank you guys all for joining us because we had some exceptionally fun games, I think it's safe to say. And I really enjoyed the cast, as weird and long as it may have gone. We're going to go to a break, come back, show off some of our Corsair gear, like this keyboard. Look at the lights, guys. If I press it, like tip your whole keyboard. But, yeah, 2 minutes commercials and we'll say goodbye. So thank you for watching. Do stick around. We'll see you soon. All right, folks, we're back. We're during the commercial break. We managed to drop 6,000 frames. So we're going to try and keep this quick and simple because things are clearly lagging here at the end of the stream. So again, Corsair gear available. All this cool stuff that you see here is pretty much what we're using. I'm using the Scimitar. That's this mouse over here on this side. Zomgrub's using like the Qatar or something. It's a tinier mouse. I've got the K70 Rapid Fire. It's like one of their newer keyboards, and it's actually really awesome. Love it a lot. Really short switches. It's actually really sensitive, so it's weird to get used to because I kept pressing things I didn't mean to press. But overall, great keyboard. We both use the Void headsets. These things are fantastic. I've got the lights off because it extends the battery life pretty significantly. You can wear these for like, I'm not even exaggerating when I say like 15 hours without needing to charge it. It's not a problem. And the quality's pretty good. It's comfortable to wear if you got glasses. Anyways. Point is, Corsair supports these cups, guys. We'd love if you would check out, maybe buy some of their gear, but at least look at the website for stuff down below. Zombie Grub, you want to just shout out our other sponsors really quick? We already did it once. We can just kind of bim bam boom through it.
Okay, well, G2A.com, use code BASE to get 3% off of any game. Yord Woodwatches has their Father Day sale still going on for $20 off. You can support the Civil War by buying a t-shirt down below. We still have those on sale as well. You can support the players and the teams that they respectively belong to. Cheers for Gaming. BaseTradeTV is the code for $20 off, free shipping, and free cushions to North America. And finally, Arcade Block, our newest sponsor, still have that deal going, or the raffle going, where if you do sign up for a month or however long you want to, send BaseTradeTV a PM with the receipt. You'll be entered into a raffle for a really cool Risk board signed by a bunch of players from DreamHack Austin.
Yeah, really excited to give that away too. But that does wrap everything up. So guys, again, follow me on Twitter at riff_kings, right up there. Whoop.
And you can follow me on Twitter at CG Gaming, and Twitch, ZombieGrub, and YouTube, ZombieGrub.
And make sure to just follow the channel, come back for all the StarCraft action. Tomorrow is going to be an afternoon cast. It's going to be like the one time we don't cast in the morning. Like, what the fuck is that? We'll get the North American group for Ting. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You better come join us. And hopefully Twitch and E3 will not be so laggy. But thank you guys for watching today. We're going to find somebody to host. Make sure that when we do, you go to their channel, you give them some love, spam some base trade raid stuff in chat, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. So thanks again for watching, everybody. Goodbye.